What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Madison Li, back with Hometown Commander, back for another episode of 10 Card Upgrade, the show where I talk to you about my 10 cards, or in this case, 12 card upgrade for the Science Precon for Fallout. As always, if you're interested in seeing my full deck upgrade, I'm going to put a link down below to that. Otherwise, this is just the 12 cards I recommend you add to your Precon. I'll give you a list of what I think you should cut, as well as some price bases to do. So, well, let's jump right into it. First off, we have Aetherworks Marvel, probably one of the two, I think, high-end cards we're looking to add to the deck to be really big energy payoffs. Whenever a permanent is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, we gain energy, and for 6 energy, we can look at the top 6 cards of our library and cast a card from among them without paying its mana cost. We have a bunch of other cards that are going to try to generate energy, and I think this is a way we could potentially, every turn, cast something pretty big and try to continue to add to our board state. Constant Surveillance is a 4-mana enchantment that says when it comes in, we get 4 energy. We can pay 2 energy to prevent all damage that would be dealt to this turn by a sorcery or choice. That can stop a lot of things from dealing damage to us and could hopefully protect us in certain situations, especially if we have energy laying around. Decoction Module is an artifact that says whenever a creature enters the battlefield under our control, we get an energy, which is a pretty cool ability we can take advantage of, and then for 4, we can return a creature back to our hand. One of the little sub things we're going to be playing around with is using our creatures that make energy when they come in to hopefully get that multiple times, and Decoction Module can help us do that. Air of Innovation, whenever an artifact or an artificer comes in, we can pay 1. If we do, we get 2 energy, and we can pay 6 energy and stack it to draw 3. What I like Air of Innovation, if we can pair Madison Li with things that make artifact creatures, we can just get a bunch of energy out of it. That seems pretty good to me. Fabrication Module says whenever we get 1 or more energy, we put a +1/+1 counter on a creature we control. This can grow some of our creatures to be threats, as well as just start growing our board. Gonti's Aether Heart's the other pretty big artifact. It's going to be a big money card for us to help us with energy payoffs. Whenever it or another artifact comes in, we get 2 energy, again increasing the amount of energy we can get at one time. And then for 8 mana, we can exile it to take an extra turn after this one. What I like about Gonti's Aether Heart and Aetherworks Marvel specifically is because of Madison's last ability, if someone removes it and just destroys it, we can get it back from our graveyard, and I think that's pretty important. Now, of course, Gonti's, if we exile it to take the extra turn, we can't get it back, but at least it can help protect these big artifacts we really care about. Lae'zel, Vlaakith's Champion, is a 3-mana 3/3 Gith Warrior that says if we would put 1 or more counters on a creature or planeswalker we control or on yourself, we can put that many +1. This is great for energy, of course, because anytime we get energy, we put energy counters on ourselves, so we can get 1 more that way, and just take advantage of more of that. We can also, some of our creatures can give +1/+1 counters to other things, and this can give us extras of those. Lightning Runner would be a card I would be pretty excited to try out. A 5-mana 2/2 double strike haste that says whenever it attacks, we get 2 energy. Then we can pay 8 energy, and if we do, we untap all creatures and there's an additional combat. This can work really well if we have a big energy pile stored up in a big wide board of creatures, and potentially get in for some big combats and hurt our opponent. Saheeli kind of works with our creatures that make energy when they come in, allowing us to make copies of them and potentially get energy that way. And it could just also make a tokenless copy of an artifact we control as well, and double up on some of the abilities they may have for that turn if need be. But I like it for the creatures that come in and make energy when they come in. This can allow us for 2 mana to just make it and get more energy. Or if we have an ability we really want twice this turn, we can use Saheeli for that. And I think Saheeli fits that really well. For the purposes of Air of Innovation, of course, she is an artificer, so of course that would count for that. And then our last 3 cards, Psy Master Thopters, getting us Thopters every time we cast artifacts, pairs really well with Madison Li, giving us energy anytime we cast an artifact spell, so it just helps us go wide with those creatures. Thousand Moon Smithy, a new card from Lost Caverns of Ixalan. Whenever it comes in, we make a gnome with power and toughness equal to the number of artifacts or creatures we control, so hopefully it should be pretty big with all the cards we're playing. And then during our pre-combat main phase, we can pay 5 and flip it into a land, and then every time that land is used to cast a artifact spell or a creature, we get another one of those gnomes and can start building those up on the board. And then Unwinding Clock to untap all artifacts we control and maybe take good advantage of some of those in our opponent's turns, whether it's for removal or things like that. I think Unwinding Clock may be a little bit less good in this deck than it is in other artifacty type decks, but hey, when we talk about these artifact creatures though, this basically gives them vigilance. I think that's important, especially if we can tap them for any reason, or we can basically now attack for them with vigilance. These are the 12 cards that I chose to cut. I don't think these are bad cards by any means. They just needed to cut something in order to add these. I do really like Behemoth of Vault 0. And I do really like Open the Vaults, but something needed to, these things, of course, something needed to come out, and these were the 12 that I picked. As far as the cards that we're talking about as of March 4th, that I'm recording this, all of these cards at TCG Player would be about $36, and then for Card Kingdom, they would be about $34, although there were a couple that weren't in stock at the time I did it. I just used the last available price for them. So we're looking at about a $40 upgrade for the deck that I think is going to end up adding a ton of power. Let me know, what do you think of my upgrades down in the comment section below? I'd love to hear what you think, and I will catch you guys next time.